Good afternoon, partners. This is Sherman Crancer, Senior Partner Channel Development Manager for the Western United States. I want to say thanks again for coming to the show today. Man, do we have an awesome show ready to provide, all the partners that are on the call today. And we're basically going to be talking about how to make 3 times the licensing revenue with the Law Toolbox, but also with other ISV solutions that are going to blow you away. We have 2 different guests that are going to be on the show today. It's going to really be fantastic, and we look forward to it. So let's go and get on the way. You guys all know who I am, but just in case you didn't have my contact information, in case that somebody referred you to come on to the show, go ahead and email me at scrancer@microsoft.com. 949-680-6671 is my cell number, so please don't call after 11 p.m. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Sherman Crancer. All right, so let's get into the agenda for today. We have a little bit of a typo here. We have Synex Compete, but we're not talking about that. We're actually talking about ISV solutions. So we'll have, our thought leadership portion of it. We'll have our special guest, Carolyn Grove from the Law Toolbox. Then we have brainstorming with Justin Slagle, and he's bringing on a great guest, and he'll talk all about that ISV solution. We'll go into the questions from Microsoft partners. We'll talk about that secret that we talked, that I sent out an email, how to make 3 times the licensing revenue. We'll talk about ISV packaging, have a call to action and a summary. Obviously, we got a lot to cover today, and we're really excited to do it. All right, so before we get into the thought leadership portion, I just want to go ahead and call out one of the things that is really important to our fearless leader here on the slide here, and that's Eugene Chi, is our insider call, our West Region insider call. It's really a great place to ensure that you are learning about the latest, things that are coming straight off the presses from, HQ up in Bellevue, Washington. On that call, there's lots of things like, incentives that come up, or the latest ideas or trainings, and we have a lot of different people on there, and you really get a great perspective coming from Eugene and what his thoughts are from the Western region. So please, you can go ahead and download this deck at PLG Power, the aka.ms/PLG Power. And you go ahead and click on that link, which is embedded in that, and that's for the West at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time once a month. All right, so let's get into the thought leadership portion of it. So the first thing I want to talk about really today is about visual and audio indicators. Now, you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with thought leadership, right? And what I wanted to do today is really kind of talk about things that are going to help you be a very successful salesperson, right? A sales and marketing person is really understanding visual and audio cues. I don't know if many people on this program have, went to Vegas or Atlantic City where it's legal to actually play poker. But if you play poker, or you play one of those back at your house, right? With just your friends, you'll notice that there's this thing called tells, right? And it's what people, whether they're pensive, whether they're thinking, whether they're ready to be able to, go all in per se, and the thing is, when they talk about tells in that specific game, that actually applies to real life and actually can really apply to your sales and marketing motions. It's very interesting. So if you think about it, understanding, visual and audio cues is probably one of the most important things to put into your sales toolbox per se. I want to put that in there because what it does is it helps you understand the flow of the appointment or the prospect. It understands the flow of the relationship that you're building with your client, right? We talked about empathic statements a few weeks ago, and those are ones that really elicit your client or prospect to talk more about themselves than hear you talk about the program. So with this, I wanted to kind of set the stage up and kind of give you a little bit of a background. So imagine that we are in a office that we're talking to a prospective client, and then the client, while we're talking to them, purses their lips together, right? They put them It kind of like purses them together, right? One of the first things you have to understand is you should really pay attention to not just what, how they're sitting or how they're looking, but one of the key indicators that a lot of people don't know about is really just following the mouth of the actual prospect or customer. When they're pursing their lips, that means that they've already made a decision about something that they talked to you about, or that you had mentioned. They have an opinion, an obvious opinion right now about something you just said. Typically, the pursed lips kind of goes along with a negative opinion. So you have to be really careful about that. And you have to, and when you notice that you have that type of reaction to something you say, that's when you come back in with an empathic statement, similar to, so, John, you probably don't think this is going to work, but let me explain to you why I think it can. And then you smile, and then remember we talked about tilting your head and raising your eyebrows, right? Because you want to establish that friendship vibe with your client or prospective client. Now, what's the next one? Well, when a customer bites their lip, they're basically sitting there. They want to say something while you're talking. And a lot of us, especially in sales and marketing, run a lot of appointments where we are just constantly talking. We just keep constantly talking. And if you have to pay attention, because when somebody bites their lip, they want to interject something. They want to say something. They want to talk. And in sales and in marketing, one of the most key things you have to remember is actually listening is probably the most important tool in your sales toolbox. You have to listen to them. So if you are over talking them over and over and over again, and you have your client there biting their lip, then the reality is, you got to just step back for a second and say, okay, hey, I'm sorry, so please let me understand what you're doing. Now the potential client touches their face or their mouth. Okay, now this is another huge tell. Okay, they kind of go like this. They stroke their beard or their goatee, or anytime they kind of touch their lips, their mouth, that means that the client is really nervous. About something that is going along, and that's another a key indicator to say, maybe you need to stop talking and start listening, or maybe ask that empathic question. So you're probably feeling a little nervous about what we're talking about. Can you help me understand, some of your thoughts on that, possible item that's going along, or that thing that I just mentioned. So you have to always take a look at that, right? That's another secret. Now let's talk about some audio cues here. So these are actually really important, and you have to kind of think about whether somebody has a really high voice. I don't even have a high voice anymore, or a really low voice, right? And the lower voice inflections are actually a really important part of a conversation within your friends. Listen, and we talked about this. Listen very carefully. When you hear the tone of the voice lower to the point where they're done, now that's time for you to interject. When they're sitting there and they have a lower sense of their voice inflection, they're also providing a sense of command, right? They're actually, basically projecting that they're the ones that are in control of the actual conversation. So you have to be really careful with that. But then, once again, if their intonation is a real high intonation with, that you can kind of just watch. It doesn't have to be the Mariah Carey high type of intonation, but it really is about as they raise their voice, that becomes more excited, right? So what I'm trying to get at here is that sales isn't always about, hey, let me go ahead and have this product and I want to sell it to you because X, Y, and Z, right? Well, in a situation where you're doing solution selling, there's a lot more to the actual sales appointment than really meets the eye. So pay attention, listen, watch your client or prospective client, and figure out ways to help understand and make them feel important in the process that you're doing. All right, we'll leave you with this. Leaders do what they talk about. Dreamers talk about what they're going to do. So I'm going to leave you with the last thing. Just do it. Just go out there and get something done. Send me an email. I'm looking forward to some great thing that happened today or this week. So please let me know. And then next week we're actually taking a break. So let's get into the brainstorming with Justin. Justin, hey, thanks so much for coming back. You're here every week. So I'll go ahead and pass it off to you, Justin.
All right, thanks, Sherman. I'm really excited about being here and talking to our special guest today. Last week I talked about 10 or 12 ISVs that you could potentially bundle in your solution, and today we're going to talk about a couple of those in a little bit more detail. So today we have with us Anthony Kapitansky. I'm probably saying that Kapitansky, right?
Yeah, almost there.
Almost there. I always just call him Anthony. So, but Anthony's the CEO of a company called Team Fusion, and thanks for being here. And so many times I talk to you guys about packaging solutions. So not just selling Microsoft, not just selling Office 365, but going out and creating your own IP. And I think sometimes partners get confused that when I say create your own IP, I don't necessarily mean that you have to go out and develop something on your own. Really what I mean is you have to create something that's specific for your customers, a specific need. And many times what we see at Microsoft is, when I say many, I mean like 99% of the time, customers who buy Office 365, they want training, right? And one of the things that I love about Team Fusion is you guys solve this pain point. So Anthony, I know you guys kind of see yourselves as more of a sales enablement tool. So can you talk about Team Fusion and what you guys are and how partners can use you as a sales enablement tool?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks, Justin, for the intro. Team Fusion, to put it simply, is the most effective training and self-service support platform for Office 365. And when we really think about the motion of selling Office 365, training, as Justin mentioned, is a huge component of enabling that customer to feel comfortable in transacting a new solution, deploying it, and really making sure their users are able to get the most out of that solution. So Team Fusion comes in to help you solve that challenge for your customers. Bringing in the right training, the right content to enable users not only to get set up on Office 365, but really to start leveraging all of those unique workloads and features of Office 365 to truly transform what they do on a day-to-day basis, become more productive and better as an organization overall. So that's kind of the high level of what Team Fusion comes into, and really want to be partner focused, really helping our partners come in and solve those challenges for their end customers, whether that be only a training challenge or going beyond and really identifying how those applications can transform the end customer's environment overall and showing them how they can go ahead and start using it.
Yeah, so Anthony, I think you and I, we've talked to each other for a couple of years now. We get each other on the point of like packaged solutions and so forth. But tell me and tell the viewers, how have you've seen some partners who've really adopted this, and specifically with Team Fusion, actually win some deals because they offer Team Fusion with their solution.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us a story or two?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when we think about it, software and training really do go hand in hand. It's the easiest add-on, easiest bundle. And I think today, a lot of partners are hearing, you need to be bundling, you need to be adding unique IP to each transaction and really selling a solution, not just a set of SKUs. So when we think about how we've helped some of our partners in the past, when they've gone into some larger deals, larger environments, some of the concerns that IT bring up are really that partner's ability to support a wide scale, not only technical implementation, but the actual enablement of the wide scale deployment. And some of our partners are able to really bring the solution that's Team Fusion today, package it under their own branding, under their own label, which is our white label program. And we'll be announcing some other options that we're now introducing that are more SMB friendly options as well. But demonstrate that they have the capability, that they have the resources to fully enable their clientele to get the most out of any investment they make with the partner. So we've had a number of examples, one of which that comes to the top of our head is one of our partners, Ryan Tech, recently was able to win a pretty large EA account from Dell, bring them over to a CSP transaction, a more expensive CSP transaction, and really leverage their version of Team Fusion as a fundamental factor in convincing the client that the CSP option was the right move and that working with Ryan Tech in this moving forward was more advantageous than a traditional EA or Dell in that case.
Yeah, I think that's so important because a lot of times people say, well, Office 365 is $20 a month for E3. How am I supposed to sell against somebody who's trying to offer for 19? And I think what we're showing as a case there is that, hey, you could actually sell for $22 or $23 or $25 as long as the customer sees the value and you make more money.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think it's all about selling on the value. And I think you brought this up on a call a few months ago, and I'm going to reference that again, but Justin made the great point that when we go to a store and buy, let's say, a flashlight or a toy, much of that electronic equipment comes prepackaged with, say, batteries. We don't necessarily know the line items or how much a battery costed and how much that flashlight costed, but it delivers value, and we're happy to pay for a single bundle that really solves a challenge that we want to get going quick and easy. And software and training is that first easy step. When an individual or a company is moving to a new software, they want to ensure that they're going to know how to use it. And that's really the first step into then bundling additional solutions, some of which you're going to hear about later today on the call, some of which I'm sure you guys are already aware of. But really getting into that motion of selling on value add-ons to Office 365 and delivering the most holistic solution to your end customer that really solves their challenges, makes them feel comfortable in that digital transformation process.
Awesome. So let's do this. We're going to do a little demo here,
Yep.
right? And so if we can pull that up, let's talk about the way that you guys originally came to market. You have a white label solution, and let's show everybody kind of how this works and what their end customers would get.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Justin mentioned, we do have a white label partner program today, and that's the most conventional format through which we engage with partners. Now, we kind of refer to ourselves as a channel-centric company, or born in the channel company, in the sense that we don't do any end customer specific marketing or sales directly to end customers. All of our focus is really empowering partners within the ecosystem to take the solution and add value to their clientele. And thus far, we've done that in a completely white labeled fashion, meaning that our partners are able to package their own solutions. Their end customers never know who Team Fusion is, and they're able to really position it as their own in-house, quote unquote, built IP. Now, we've listened to a number of our partners who either don't necessarily want to take on that process of being a white label partner and have their own IP, but rather would like to just resell the best solution for their customers in a model that's more conventional and familiar to them. So we've launched a new reseller model, and we're excited to be really just in the new stages of that, announcing it really publicly for the first time on this call, and going into a couple events to go in depth into that model. And in addition to launching that program, we've actually included a number of sales tools that make it very easy for partners who want to sign up, who want to learn more about our reseller program, to get all the information they need to understand what they can get out of the Team Fusion reseller program. And that's exactly what we're looking at here. So what we have on the screen is our reseller information portal. And at the end of this call, we'll share the URL for any partners who are interested in learning about what our reseller program has to offer. You can hop on, learn about the program, learn about some of the value points that your customers will actually get from the Team Fusion solution, and access quite a bit of collateral on exactly why this can bring value to your end customers. Now, what makes this a unique solution, what makes our sales process relatively simple for partners to get going quickly, is our ability to convert this into a portal that you can actually add your prospects and your customers into. And now I'm going to switch over here, and you'll notice that in the top left-hand corner, you'll see that your logo here. You'll have your own branded kind of prospect portal. With the click of a button, you're able to invite any prospect, so this blue button here, have them come in, learn more about the Team Fusion offering. You don't have to worry about finding the right PDF, the right attachment to send out to all your prospects, making sure it's up to date. You don't even have to worry about compelling that end customer on the right pitch. We'll take care of that for you. So truly trying to make that reseller process as seamless and easy as possible. Click of a button, invite customers. They can sample some of the training, and we'll come in and help co-sell with you and extend a 25% margin to any accounts that we sign over to that partner. So we're really excited about the program. We're excited about making it super easy for our partners to start transacting effectively, and look forward to having very successful partnerships with anyone in the audience.
You know, we had a question, actually it just came up, and basically, I mean, it's a pretty simple one. It's just basically asking about were any different languages, or is it in English only right now, or is it in Spanish, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we support a number of languages. So natively, all of our content is being developed in English, but we do have a nifty tool within the platform that automatically translates into different native languages. So we do support a variety of languages through a translator within the platform. We're also happy to develop content from a native perspective in various languages on a case-by-case basis. So if you do have clientele that are multinational, and that is a concern where you do want to have native content developed in that language, we're happy to provide that content on a case-by-case basis as well.
Yeah, and Anthony, the other thing I love about this is, like, when a customer starts using it, the partner can then see reports on what the users have been training on, right? So then that could create some other cross-sell opportunities. hey, all these people have been looking at little short trainings on how to do pivot tables, and so then they could come in and sell a training class on pivot tables, right?
Absolutely, and I think even to extend upon that, when you think about training, it's really opening the door to understanding what's possible. So we've had a number of stories where partners have deployed Team Fusion as a training solution. They've seen a couple of the decision makers coming in, learning more about Power BI, learning about workloads they might not be consuming today, and take that as a great opportunity to come in and kind of pitch the value of moving into a higher SKU, pitch the value of what those workloads can actually do from a transformational perspective for that end customer. So.
That's really good, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. This is a great question here. It came in here. Does any integrations with DISDs? When I make a CSP purchase through Synnex, can this be an easy add-on?
Yeah, it's a perfect question. We're actually on the Synnex CloudSolve marketplace, and if you guys have any questions, Corey Callahan is a great point of contact at Synnex. Walk you through. We're seamlessly transacting through Synnex, and we're happy to discuss getting you onboarded as a Synnex reseller as well, and leveraging Team Fusion.
And Anthony, one more thing I want everybody to see. When we think about computer-based training, a lot of times it's watching a video like what everybody's watching right now. But your training is a little bit beyond that. You want to tell everybody where you've gone with it?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really taking the approach that, today people don't like to passively sit back and watch a video. And really, like Justin said, most conventional trainings are pretty lengthy, dry video trainings. And so we've developed very unique interactive trainings. And if we actually get back onto the screen, I can show one of those as well. Our trainings actually emulate the process of working with a particular application in Office 365. So a user is able to get that experience of, for instance, I'll go in and show some of our OneDrive for Business trainings. That user can come in and get a very seamless experience of launching Office 365. In this case, the portal will walk me through all of the courses that I might take in this section. It'll launch my Office 365 emulated experience. I actually have to interact with this. If I don't know, for instance, how to find OneDrive, it'll show me where I can find that. Go ahead and launch. And it'll walk me through step-by-step, very relevant processes that I might encounter in a real-life scenario. Users have a lot higher retention in this capacity. They're able to then take this knowledge, apply that to their real day-to-day jobs, and not necessarily just sit back and watch a boring video, so to speak.
That's awesome. So, Anthony, what's the best way? So if they're not a Synnex partner and not going through TeamSolve, what's the best way for them to sign up?
The best way is to contact us directly. We'll be posting a URL. It's teamfusion.io/reseller. Teamfusion.io/reseller. You can log in, register for our reseller information portal. You can get started right through there. Very seamless. If anything, you can also reach out, info@teamfusion.io. The best way to get all the information you need to get going is teamfusion.io/reseller.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, Anthony. Really do appreciate it. I think you have a really great program. And so what we want to do here is we want to introduce our next special guest. So we're going to do a quick change around here. And our special guest for the event, or for this particular call, is going to be Carol Lynn Groh from the Law Toolbox. As you had just recently saw, with Team Fusion, you saw, a great add-on and really a way to help, provide more of a sticky type of sale, really, to your clients. If they think you're the one that's helping them really learn about these things, it's great. I talk about this all the time with NCC. Showing people, how to do things really provides this great thing. So, with that, hey, Carolyn, can you possibly introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about, what you do, how you came into the business, and where are you?
Sure. So, my name is Carolyn Groh, and I head up the channel partners. I'm the VP of Marketing and Sales, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. And I'm super excited to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So what we want to do here real quickly is we have her contact information. We're going to be putting both contact informations up at the end of the actual program. So the first thing that we want to get into is actually questions really for, Microsoft, that come from Microsoft partners. And the reason we do this is because it really kind of helps set the stage for a lot of these, how we're going to talk about the Law Toolbox. So I think the very first question comes in is, how do I get started with, introducing Law Toolbox to law firms and legal departments? So can you help us understand that, Carolyn?
Sure, absolutely. So we have developed videos, that really tell the story for the end user, the law firm, the attorney, so that you don't really have to do that. We have introductory campaign emails that have a link to that video, and it really takes you a long way down the path to getting them engaged and interested.
Oh, great. That's awesome. I think the next question that came in is, what if a customer would like a demo? Do I need to learn how to do that?
You know, actually, we provide for our Microsoft partners a link that you can click on and schedule a time for us to do those demos for you. After you do the first 2 or 3, and certain personality types may want to just jump in and start demoing out of the gate, but most people want to have us there for the first several so that they can hear how we answer questions and make it easy for them to just jump in.
Awesome. So the next one is, I have customers that could use this type of solution, but they are not in legal.
Right.
I've reviewed, what you do in your website and stuff like that, but I'm actually quite interested in that as well. Can you help us understand that?
So we have a system, we're a company that's based on deadlines and generating templates to automate those deadlines. Got started in legal, and where the deadlines are quite complex. But as we've been out there, we're getting a lot of interest from partners that say, hey, this is great. I have a whole different client base. They live in Outlook. And can I provide you with a timeline of deadlines for their specific business? And can you upload and make those available? So that kind of IP that Justin was talking about earlier is definitely something we're doing. In fact, where our next vertical market where we're providing an out-of-the-box solution is in the area of real estate, where we'll be generating all of the deadlines for buying and selling real estate for commercial and business properties.
Oh, that's amazing. We actually have a question from from Lawrence, who's actually wrote in here. What is the sweet spot for firm size to use with the Law Toolbox? Is it like the single person, or is it the law firm that's got 300 attorneys?
So that's a great question. For us, we have found we love that market. 5 to 50 is a great market. Of course, that's where most law firms sit. Most people fall into one of those sizes. But we have customers, very large law firms. We have large insurance companies, legal departments that use us. Really, it all boils down to all attorneys need to figure out when their deadlines are expiring, and the rules are very complex. Almost all of them are relying exclusively on seeing their deadlines in their Outlook calendar, and we solve that solution regardless of the size of the firm.
Great. So we had another good question, and we're going to solve this question. It says, sorry, what is the Law Toolbox? And I know we dove right into the partner Q&A portion of it, and I apologize, but we're going to have a great 2-minute video here in just a second. So we'll do that, unless Carolyn, you want to give 10 seconds on what the basis of the Law Toolbox is.
Sure. Let me give a quick overview. So we are a database of deadlines at our core, and on top of that, we provide a solution that's cloud-based. For law firms to use to manage their deadlines, but we also tie into various case management softwares and other types of solutions like some LexisNexis products, Citrix. So we provide our court rules both directly through our own solution as well as through partners. And what we're going to see in the video here shortly is where we really see the future. The world is all moving to the cloud. Attorneys are finicky people, and they like to get things where they like them, and they spend their day in Outlook. And we a long time ago decided that we would build our solution and wrap it right around the Outlook inbox. And with Office 365 exploding, we've continued to do some very exciting things, and you'll get to see a little bit more about that with SharePoint and other areas as well. So I think we can go ahead and jump in.
All right, fantastic. And I think we wanted to talk a little. We're going to come back to the Matter Center, but before we get into this one, I think is really important. Is really how much does it cost, and where does a partner buy it? Because that's going to set us up, right? Because if they really like it, they're going to want to know, well, where do I get it?
So we're available through CSP. We launched in the Ingram Market cloud marketplace, so we're available there. We're adding new distributors, including SureWeb and others. We are also selling through our reseller portal to tier 1 providers. So you can get us wherever you need to. We are focused on selling through the channel. And the cost, we charge just like Office 365, you can buy us with Office 365. You can add us to Office 365 if a law firm already has it. The price is going to range between $19 per Office 365 seat up to $29, depending on the number of people in the organization.
That's awesome. That's part of the secret of how we're going to get 3 times the licensing revenue.
Right. Yep.
We're going to get into it in just a second. So just hold on. We'll talk about that. All right. So what is the Law Toolbox? We're going to ask our director to go ahead and play the tape here. I think it's really a great explanation of the program. Kevin, would you mind playing the stuff? All right. Thanks. Man, that was amazing. That is a fantastic video. Every time I see it, I just like, wow, that is just so cool. So I don't know, Justin, was there a question that do you have a couple questions you might want to ask Carolyn?
Sure. So I think first let's go with one of the viewer questions. They're asking about some integration with Thomson Reuters. Can you talk about? And I'm sure there's others that it integrates with as well.
Sure. So one of the things that came up on the video was this idea that that our product really works with any case management software that two-way syncs with Outlook. So while we don't have a direct integration with Thomson Reuters, we find that our customers are using Law Toolbox for Outlook with, the whole gamut of different types of solutions. We have more direct integrations with the LexisNexis suite.
So tell us a little bit more about LexisNexis. How does it integrate with LexisNexis?
So with LexisNexis, we have a solution that will automatically push the deadlines into the Matter inside of the Time Matters Matter case management solution, so that it ties directly with other case management solutions. They're typically using they may be using their case management for their billing, or maybe for their document management, and they're using our solution to manage their deadlines in their Outlook calendar. And because almost all case management software will two-way sync with Outlook, they get to see their deadlines in both places.
That's awesome. And I think, if I understand correctly, you have to have Office 365 to use Law Toolbox, correct?
Well, yes. So for the product that is sold through distribution, and the area where we are pushing all of our investment and resources, you have to have Office 365 to use the solution. We do have a traditional product that is a cloud-based solution that works with all different versions, but yes, Law Toolbox 365 lives. It actually is not installed on Office. It's not a COM add-in. It's not a .msi. It actually gets added as an add-in through the inbox with single sign-on, Open ID, the whole 9 yards. It's as though it's coming right from Microsoft. That's to awesome. The end user.
And Sherman, I'll tell you, Carolyn and I did an event with some partners about a year ago. Yeah. And we had a law firm representative that was there, owner of a law firm, and he actually stood up and said, well, we asked him, like, what would it take if you wanted to move away from Law Toolbox? And he's like, why would I ever do that?
Right.
Like, it's the most important piece of software we have in the company.
Yeah.
So, we've seen some amazing things. So thank you for what you've done for our channel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So we just all of a sudden been peppered through here with a whole bunch of stuff. So,
okay.
First thing I just want to let you, what a cool video. This could be useful for other situations too. And that comes from Ron Hardy. You're right. The partners are actually playing this type of video, right, for their customers. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And then there's one that came up here. It says, will end user, now we don't know all the answers to these questions, okay, but we'll throw them out there, but we never know. Will end user share responsibility for security?
So
has that ever come up?
So the product is actually being delivered through Office 365. Mm-hmm. So I believe that all the same HIPAA compliant security that you get because you're using a product from Microsoft like Office 365, you also get with our solution.
Great. And remember, a big portion of security has a lot to do with how big the passwords are, right? And I mean, how secure your passwords are. So remember that. And then the last little integrated ones, we've gotten a lot of questions here. I love this. Does this integrate with Celo or Cosmolex? Have you ever heard
Celo, I definitely have heard of Cosmolex.
Okay.
And yes, we are definitely planning to integrate with Cosmolex. How do you spell Celo?
It was CILO, as the partner put on here. Lamont asked that.
Would love to hear about that. I'm not familiar with that.
Or
Clio.
Bingo.
Yes.
Clio. Yes. Sorry, I thought it was Celio. As I'm getting older, my eyes are starting to get worse and worse. So, Clio.
Yes, we do integrate with Clio.
All right, very good. Okay, hey, let's get into this. Let's get into our actual PowerPoint here. And why don't you go ahead and roll through these next few slides, and sure. I'll turn it over to you.
So attorneys, the number one cause of malpractice for an attorney is missed deadlines, of course. And most attorneys rely on Outlook as their primary repository. Most of the time, people are manually entering their deadlines into Outlook. Our solution is basically a no-brainer for these folks because we're doing all of this in an automated way and in such a way, as you saw through the video, where the attorneys can simply use their phone and click on a link and go right to the authority that determines where that deadline came from. And potentially, because insurance companies want to see attorneys using an electronic system for deadlines that have redundancy built in, they can qualify potentially for discounts above and beyond what they currently have today. So maybe even making money using a solution. All right, let me see if I can switch to the next screen. All right, so basically, when you're talking about getting familiar with a vertical or offering a tailored solution as a trusted advisor, we're effectively Office for Legal. We're bringing a matter-based structure, which is, when you think of a Microsoft Office, you think of a horizontal platform, and we're bringing that matter structure right to the inbox. So here's where we're leading into our new announcement, where in the video that you just saw a moment ago, we saw how Law Toolbox brings a matter-based structure to the Outlook inbox to manage deadlines. In the new, in our newest release, where we're actually expanding beyond deadlines into documents, notes, shared inbox, shared calendar. We have built a solution that sits right on top of, it's based on the Microsoft Matter product, which some of you may have heard of. And we've expanded on that and built a matter structure on top of groups, so that I don't know if we'll have a chance to see it in the video or not, but as a new matter is created inside of Outlook, when somebody receives an email from, for example, from an attorney or opposing counsel, in the new solution, we're automatically creating a matter structure, like you see here on the screen, where we create a SharePoint site. We call that a document folder, so that it's a little bit more accessible to the end user. As Microsoft partners, we all know about SharePoint. It creates a place for notes. Of course, that's where we're creating a OneNote for each matter. And then we've got the shared inbox and the shared calendar. So we're really excited. We're taking the idea of Office 365 and helping end users get from just using Outlook and Word and really expanding out into the breadth of what Office 365 can do.
That's fantastic. So, we have another video to play. This is our video 2, and I don't know if we can do this, but we're going to try to start at, I think, about 3 minutes. I think that was the idea, if at all possible. But while we're kind of looking into that, we've had some great comments already. I mean, Ron Hardy has asked, where can I get it again? And we already had responses from several of the partners saying Ingram Micro. So you can go to that. You have to have Office 365. And then, but then we did have another one. So this is you have to look at skeptical questions too.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'd be interested to provide that if I didn't have to buy it with Office 365. I imagine that there's people probably asking that. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So if I put on a Microsoft hat, there's a lot more feature-rich capabilities that people can get when they're going to the cloud and they're getting Office 365. But we definitely are a solution that can be used with Outlook traditional, that's not using, that's got hosted Exchange, or that's got Outlook on, local servers. It's just not all the same solutions, and it's not. It doesn't come with all the bells and whistles like you get with SharePoint.
Okay.
But it is a good stepping stone for an organization that needs to solve an issue today and knows they're going to go to Office 365 in 6 months or 9 months. And they know that they're heading, down the path of choosing a solution that's going to take them to where they're going, even if it's not this week.
Well, thanks for that explanation. We have, there's so many good questions coming in, so this is really fantastic. But let's go ahead and play the video and see, let the partners watch that. What a great video. So Carolyn, why don't you give us your thoughts?
Okay, so what we saw there was we basically saw a matter that had been created on our system where groups were created. So in addition to automatically generating deadlines, getting them onto each user's Outlook calendar, the system also gives the user a very easy to access place to just go see their documents. So you've got this matter structure inside Outlook where you can use things like SharePoint and OneNote. The last screen, some of you might have wondered, I think that we're the first to showcase this new technology called an extension module inside of Office 365 for add-ins. So first time shown, where it looked like we were not in Outlook, but we were in Outlook. When you saw full screen view, that's in the bottom left-hand corner of your Outlook inbox, where you can like make your calendar or your people or whatever you want to show up. You have the ability to make our add-in show up and go full screen. So that was kind of cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, I think the next question is this easy to sell? And what about supporting it? Can you help us understand that?
Sure. So as that screen's coming up here, I'll just mention we are super excited to have won third most business value as an Office add-in out of 1,700 add-ins in the market. So very excited about that. That makes it easier to sell. Honestly, we've a lot of different doors have been opening for us around town and around the in the market because of that type of an award. The biggest piece of, I think one of our greatest assets is that we are so darn easy to sell. And earlier with the video, the whole idea is that we have an email. You can get it if you go to lawtoolbox.com/Office 365 reseller. Top left corner says sample email to send to law firm or legal department. When you click on that and you send it, in there is a link to our 3-minute video. And the whole idea is that all you need to do is click and send. And we also provide out-of-the-box webinars for folks that are interested, but most people just want to send an email. And then finally, I'll say we found a great deal of success when an organization, when a new partner comes on board, to just pick one law firm that they know and offer the solution so they can get familiar and get feedback from somebody that they know and are familiar with to get started. So as easy as it gets to sell in terms of support, because it's a modern add-in, meaning it's not a COM add-in, it's not a plugin, it's not a .msi, it actually is added through the Office 365 add-in, the Microsoft Store. You're getting a product that doesn't need to be installed and that seamlessly stays up to date when all of the Office 365 updates run. You don't have to go test to see is it going to work with other products because it's built into Office 365 coming in from the back end. Earlier, we talked about the idea of custom templates for specific industries. If you see an opportunity, definitely. We're so excited. We had a law firm recently create request a mutual fund calculator. We're super excited to announce our new partnership with DocuSign, where we're bringing together really, an awesome concept where you've got a vertical solution targeting legal, and you have a horizontal solution like DocuSign where you're bringing this whole electronic digital processing of signatures and workflow to the legal vertical. And then next we're working into we'll be announcing soon a solution for the real estate vertical.
Awesome. I think the next question comes up, and how do Microsoft partners make money? But before we do that, there's been just a couple quick ones that have come up. Maybe you can just say yes or no to them, so we can do quick fire.
Okay.
And then we will get back to you. So we want you to email. So are there practice-specific versions available?
So I'm going to guess that question is related to legal, like is there personal injury version, is there family? So there are rule sets for a lot of different types of practices. So we have probate, we have some family law. So yes, there are.
Okay. Next one is also any integration with or at least confirmation that your offering plays well with World Docs.
So we are a solution that is really automating deadlines inside of Outlook. And for Office 365, we're really excited to explore opportunities to bring some of the value of an Office 365 to traditional document management solutions so that law firms can get the best of both worlds there, and we can, identify connectors.
Great. And that question is from Don, and Don had another question too. It says, any work with intellectual property law, very matter date driven, but rather a narrow focus of the law. Thank you. So, before you answer that one,
Yeah.
Carolyn, I think the idea is that this particular product really helps save the attorney's potential licenses, right? It's not going to be everything to everyone. It's not going to have every functionality that any practice could possibly have. But let's start solving the one thing that's a problem, right? That's what we talk about, packages, right? All the time. Solving a problem. And a problem right now is potentially losing a license because they missed a calendar date.
Right.
I mean, that's the basic. That's what we want to solve, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So with that, yeah, a little narrow focus, but hey, it's a problem. If you're not solving a problem, you're selling a license and you're selling on price. And we all know that when we're selling on price, not really many good things happen. So Justin, I'll throw this to you. What do you think about selling on price as opposed to selling on a solution?
Well, no, absolutely. I 100% believe in creating your own packages, and that's what I think, Sherman, this has been one of my favorite calls that we've done because that's exactly what we're talking about here. We have two amazing solutions that you can put together with Office 365 and take the customers and actually sell for more money and win more deals. Anthony earlier talked about a partner, Ryan Tech, that did the same thing. They won a CSP deal over an EA. I think you can do the same thing. If you're going into a law firm and you're packaging up something like Law Toolbox, DocuSign, and Team Fusion as a complete package, I think that you'll have a lot more, you'll have a higher win rate and you'll make more money.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into the secret of how to triple your Office 365 revenue. Okay, and this is big because if we're just selling licensing, we talked about this. We got to find something else that's going to help you build your margin, right?
Yeah.
So, Carolyn, please help us understand this. I'm going to go ahead and put up the bullet points.
So increased reach. Yeah, clearly when you're talking to a law firm and you're talking to them about a system to automate what they're all doing by hand, you're going to get and our experience shows that you're going to get a lot better reach to bring in interest and schedule demos and get folks moving. And then, of course, if you're doubling the number of people that are saying, "Hey, I'm interested. I have time. I want to look into this," you're going to obviously be getting a larger number of clients signing up. Big piece here is that if you look at what how the pricing shakes out, this is a higher type sale than a typical Office 365, and with the margins that we offer, you're looking at just under $100 per seat per year. And that's before you've added services and done, a lot of additional type of value add where you're building IP for a specific practice, or you're bundling in another solution like Team Fusion or DocuSign. So there's a lot of opportunity from that standpoint. And then, of course, there's this whole idea of looking at your customer base and seeing who do I have? I may have some legal, but I may have some other types of customers. And is there an opportunity there? So the one of the key things I want to point out is that we'd love to give all of our partners, anybody that reaches out to us when they go to our website, lawtoolbox.com/Office 365 reseller, we will give you a demo account for free. We want you to play around with it. We'll provide the demos for you so that we can make it quick and easy for you to get on board and start selling and start getting familiar. We hope that you will, pick one customer that you can get a demo with quickly, because you probably have one out there that, you can pick up the phone and say, "Hey, let's, I think, is this something you're interested in?" Have them watch the video and they'll say, "Yeah, I am." So let's get we'd love to get that moving forward with you, and you can test our numbers and our experience. We've done some work with different folks and found that, you know, when you get on the phone and are talking to a law firm, they all say, well, I use Office. There's something that's specifically going to help me for my legal practice, and it's available inside of Office. They're all interested. You just need to get those folks and get out in front of them.
No, I can't say enough about this, and really about how it is, and it so much so that Carolyn and I got together about 2 months, a month and a half or 2 months ago, and we said, well, how do we work this with MCC, and how do we help the MCC partners, the partners that are in MCC that are actively going out to associations verticals, right? And we put our minds together, and I really appreciate it, Carolyn, I really do, of trying to put this together. We're like, okay, how do we do this? So Carolyn is super excited to work with each and every MCC partner out there that wants to go into the law vertical, and she's actually offered her own personal help with getting into appointments. Her and I have been on several appointments with some huge associations in the law vertical, and we can really help the partners in the MCC program kind of get into this vertical. Can you just kind of tell us what we've been doing together, just really quickly, as we don't have a whole lot of time left here?
Sure, absolutely. So we are, in fact, this week we're headed to Chicago tomorrow, where all of the national bar, the American Bar Association bar presidents are getting together, and we're going to be talking to them about connecting people from all over the country with Microsoft partners to help law firms, legal departments understand security, encryption, how to use Outlook efficiently, how to not lose yourself in your Outlook inbox because you get distracted as emails pop in, and how to and learn about how to become effective and adopt new technology and get modern with the modern law firm. So we'd love, please feel free to reach out, working closely with Sherman. We're also going to be, the very next day, we'll be spending 3 days with all the national bar at the Bar Leadership Institute, talking to, again, bar associations. I think altogether there's going to be about 400 of them that we'll be spending time with over the next 4 days, covering pretty much the entire U.S. So it's a great time to raise your hand and learn about Sherman's program so that you can get involved and get connected with the Bar Association. There's really, I will say that all of our business during our initial years came through bar associations and the activities through the industry. They're a great influential group and a really perfect connection, I think.
Awesome. So, hey, if you're interested, email our new teleresource, Lauren Wood, at v-lawoo@microsoft.com, or email Carolyn directly. If you're not an MCC partner already, go ahead and email Lauren Wood, which is v-lawoo, I call her Lawoo, at microsoft.com. I love it. All right, so lastly, I think there's a kind of a quote here. You can spend your time making your software work together, or you can build your office around a product like Office 365 that is built in ecosystems for legal. I think I stole your thunder on that one. I'm sorry, Carolyn.
Yeah, no,
it happens.
We're if you think about artificial intelligence, you think about business information, we're really excited about being part of this ecosystem, and the kind of experience and information we're going to be involved in and being able to share with our partners, our customers, with how people use Office 365 and being able to connect and utilize a lot of that great business intelligence inside of Office 365 is just super exciting, and it takes away all the mess of having to break, fix, and make products work together. They seamlessly work together when you're building them in Office.
Awesome, awesome. So, we're just going to go through these right now. We have Microsoft Spotlight, Law Toolbox. You can see a couple of these different things we have here. There's a new legal bundle with that. There are 2 award-winning modern apps here, 2016 Office App Awards in top 3. I think it's amazing. And, I think that there's other ideas, Better Together, Office 365. It's matter-based, which I think is really fantastic. And, they're partnering right now with DocuSign, which is going to be really fantastic. Let's get in just lastly, I know we're right at about time. We started a little bit later, but the package of the week I thought was actually quite important because it's really about helping, your customers. And if you take a look at here, this is something that you can do. It's not necessarily what Microsoft is telling you what to do, but it might be an idea to help you do it. And that's offering Office 365 E3 edition. You package that in with Team Fusion. Oh my gosh, now you're training, now they're a lot stickier. Then you're saying, okay, we're going to put the Law Toolbox in here. We're going to make sure your calendaring's perfect. We're going to make sure that all of the people in your office are, trained with Fusion. And then you have like a security and insurance explanation. The reason why I put it in here is that the object of putting together a package is to find a big margin, right? And it's not to line item, and it is about getting away from price. This is just off the, off the seat, just kind of just thinking really quickly. So that's the idea. We can always provide. You can get this email later. This PowerPoint at a later date. I'll post it to the PLG Power program. All right. So the call to action is pretty simple. What we want to do here is understand that you want to transform your business model in the cloud, right? You want to choose the right path from the cloud. Now, obviously, we're talking about ISV solutions today. Team Fusion, Law Toolbox, really fantastic. Really increase your margins. If you're already in the cloud, make sure you expand and learn how to package. And then, the call to action is contact Team Fusion and the Law Toolbox. So what we're finding here is the Law Toolbox and Team Fusion will help partners drive big revenue, customer satisfaction rates. Packaging ISV solutions allow for greater margins. And lastly, partners can provide so much more to the clients. I'm going to take 2 more minutes here, and then we'll let you guys go, okay? And we'll do the raffle here. But Justin, do you want to just kind of talk about Team Fusion, your last thoughts on that with them?
Well, again, the guys, this I think is a fantastic way for you guys to create that package that you can go out. What's great about Team Fusion is it works for all verticals. So for a couple bucks a month, your customers can have a great way that they can learn more about the products that become stickier. So definitely love that. And they'll also be at our partner briefing coming up at the end of the month. So if you want to come out to the partner briefing and meet Anthony and his team, they'll be there.
All right, now, and then lastly, I want to put up here the Law Toolbox. If you need to get a hold of Carolyn, this is the email address. It is clg@lawtoolbox.com, clg@lawtoolbox.com. Carolyn, last thoughts that you'd like to provide?
Well, thank you for having us here today, and I hope to work with as many of you as I can over the coming weeks. And don't worry if legal is not a strong focus for you today. If you've got one client, we'd love to hear from you. And who knows, maybe you'll decide that this is where this is an easy fit and a great opportunity to go build into a new area. So, and of course, stay tuned for real estate coming up next month.
All right. So with that, why don't you pick a number between 1 and 100, and we will be doing the raffle for the $500 gift card provided by the Law Toolbox.
Okay. 11.
11. All right. Let me see. Deborah Mancuso, congratulations. Please email our great friend here, Carolyn, at clg@the-law toolbox, and she will send out the $500 gift card. So
great.
Everyone.
Sherman, we have one more.
Oh, we got one more. I just forgot here. Let's see. Justin, why don't you go ahead and pick between 1 and 100.
Anthony, you want to yell a number real quick? 50.
50 will be Tom McGee. Congratulations, Tom. You're new to us, so please send myself an email or send Justin. Actually, go ahead and we only have info@teamfusion.io. Info@teamfusion.io. Tom McGee, please make sure that you send that out. All right, everyone, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I know we spent 4 minutes over today, but we really appreciate it. Next week, we're taking a week off. We're going to do a reformat. We're actually changing the name of the show to The Panel, and we're going to have 4 to 5 people on here. It's going to be awesome. All right, thanks so much for your time today. And thanks for everyone. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Team Fusion and Toolbox. And thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.